Without the renewing work of grace, the human will is powerless. There are some, perhaps, who openly agree that the human will is turned to righteousness and integrity solely by God's power, and that left to itself, it takes a very different path. They believe, nevertheless, that once it has been made ready, it is active on its own account. So Augustine writes that grace precedes every good work, and in doing good, the will is led by grace and does not lead it. It follows, it does not precede. Now I would argue that the prophet's words imply two things: that the Lord corrects, or rather does away with, our perverse will, and he gives us another from himself which is sound. Insofar as his grace anticipates our will, I do not object to its being called a handmaid, but insofar as it is remade, it is the work of God. It is not to be thought that man by an act of will submits to prevenient grace. Hence it was wrong of Chrysostom to maintain that grace can do nothing without the will, just as the will can do nothing without grace. As if the will itself was not begotten and formed by grace. To revert to Augustine, in calling man's will the handmaid of grace, he did not intend it to share part of the praise for good works. He sought only to refute the evil doctrine of Pelagius, who made man's merits the prime cause of salvation. Thus, in keeping with his purpose, he demonstrated that grace precedes all merit, while leaving to one side the question of its permanent influence on us, an issue he carefully examines elsewhere. For when he says, as he often does, that the Lord anticipates the man who does not will, so that he wills, and that he assists the man who wills, so that he does not will in vain, he makes God the sole author of all that is good.